As the season starts to come to a close, I will reiterate for everyone that is new to Destiny that basically with the Eververse store, while we do have the seasonal selection that's currently available that is a broad array of stuff that just came this season, most of this will enter the vault for a time and will not be available directly for purchase from the store, whether it's silver or a part of a bundle. So if you want anything directly from the store and want it now and are willing to pay silver for it, I advise you start getting it as soon as possible because it will be at least a full season before they are added to the archive. As if you didn't know, the archive is essentially a season behind, as if you're seeing some of the finishers and cosmetics as far back as season of the Seraph, which is 2 seasons behind. None of the season of Defiance armor or cosmetics is exactly here just yet, but that will be here next season, but then the season of the Deep cosmetics will not be available exactly immediately. They can still show up in the Brightness store, but like I said, if you want to secure it and get a bundle on sale for silver, however you want to get it, I recommend getting it as soon as possible. Now, aside from that, getting into what is available specifically for Bright Dust. Now, on the front page, we have a few shaders and a few ornaments. First, Tyrian Abyss from Season of the Haunted. Basically a black, silver, and bluish, which I find it pretty solid, but at the same time, it has a sudden purple that pops out of nowhere. Then, nextly, we have Regalia, which is a very much, if you recall how the Awoken Corsairs look in prior installments of seasons and that sort of thing, this is basically the shader to make you look like very similar color schemes. And we also have a transmat, which is the Dreaming shader, which is... I just said Dreaming shader accidentally, so YouTube don't get angry at me. But it is Dreaming Shimmer, which is basically just another one of those blue rarity emotes that I believe Bungie has just recolored and called it something different. Then we also have Aim to Misbehave, which is a Malfeasance ornament that is essentially just take an ornament for Malfeasance. And if you didn't know, it was recently rebuffed nowadays with access to a Catalyst granting a purple weapon. And in combination with things like Lucky Pants, this thing is a pretty underrated monster. So maybe become the monster as well with that ornament. And then we have the Down Under dance, which is another one of those many dances that I have no idea where they're referenced from, but more than likely somebody in the comments will have an idea where they came from, so they'll inform me otherwise. Then into the main store for the variety of shaders and transmats, we have Byzantium Lotus from Season of the Dawn, which is one of those ones that looks very Callus-like, but also not fully Callus, so it's a good follow-up in case you can't get access to any of the Callus shaders in any sort of way. As well, Golden Age Wine, very much in the same line of a knockoff Callus, except in a swapped color palette, because instead of purple with yellow secondaries, more like yellow with purple secondaries. And then Wayfarer's Guise, which is another one of those, I want to look green, and I want to look like I blended in the forest vibe, but at the same time giving you an orange glow, looking like a forest specter. And Empirical Imperative, which is a kind of Seraph-style look. It gives you a carbon fiber look and shiny military hardware style. I can't really think of a better way to put that. And then for transmats, we have Plesiohedral Stage, which is basically a Tetris spawn-in case you need an idea. Champion Entrance, where you pop out of a champion's weird swish whirling effects. And then we also have the Unspun Fate, which is essentially a transmat, which is spawning as a decoy, or strand decoy, sort of. Then into our big ticket items for a exotic emote, Row Your Boat, new from this season, available for Bright Dust, which is a multiplayer emote, which is, I guess, just you hanging out and rowing the boat, and then that ends. Now, Bungie, I know this is a fun one just for the sake of boredom, but it just starts and then it just ends. I kind of feel like you need to work on a beginning and an end. Then another blue rarity emote, the Finger Heart, which is if I was not mistaken, I would imagine that is our Guardian trying to flick the bird at people, but Bungie isn't allowed to make an emote so crass, so they just came with that one. Then a Ghost Shell from Season Lost, the Pragmat Shell, which is basically a pretty fancy looking one. I can't tell if this was a part of a set. It might have been part of the 30th anniversary set as well. It's hard to tell. Well, actually, no, never mind on that last bit, but it's still pretty solid looking Ghost Shell nonetheless. Then we also have Asymmetrical Force from this season, which is one of those items that, like I said, if you want for Bright Dust, get your hands on it. If you want it for silver, when it's not available for Bright Dust, get your hands on it soon. Otherwise, this will probably disappear for a while. Pretty mean-looking Sparrow with some nice tech look, but a pretty basic purple trail. Then the table scraps ornament for the spare rations and the targeted redaction. Now, if you don't know why I say and the targeted redaction, this is originally made for the Spanner Rations hand cannon, as you can see right here. It has an ornament slot and would apply here, which is a very simple ornament in its design, but then to that extent as well, it applies to targeted redaction, which functionally uses the... Well, hang on, and let me actually buy that so I can actually prove myself not talking gibberish when I do this. See, acquire, and table scraps, and on targeted redaction, apply ornament. So, it doesn't do much for the Taken version, it just kind of shifts it up a little bit, removes a little bit of the Taken essence to it, but, you know, ornaments are ornaments, applied to more than one, it's 2 for 1 ornament, so just kind of go for it. And then as well for Monte Carlo, we have the Dreaming Clarity, which is basically, I wanted Monte Carlo to look like it came from the Deepstone Crypt, and you succeeded. Which is a very solid look, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Monte Carlo is just kind of getting all of the cool ornaments that, like, personally looking at it, let's see, let's take a trip to the exotic thing. So Monte Carlo initially got this pretty basic one, which is a kind of gold with a larger Bowie knife bayonet on it, which looks pretty solid in a condition to the other one. But then we also got this one with the Western Front, which basically is just a retro PPSH Russian-style Monte Carlo, which also still looks very good, and of course the one that we're seeing right now, which is the Dreaming Clarity, which is still a very solid-looking thing. Well-themed and well-created, so I gotta say Monte Carlo gets some of the better ornaments, even if I don't use it that much. And then we also have the Altogether Now Ghost Ornament, which I guess is the Sony plus Bungie Ghost projection, but it's usually last because it always least in comparison to everything else. With that, my name is Matt Scorpion. This has been the Eververse update. Like I said, if you want something out of the Silver store, get it while you can. It might disappear and might not come back in the Eververse store, but to that expect as well. If you want something from the Bright Dust store, you have a week to get it before you might not be able to get it for Bright Dust and free earned currency for quite a while. With that, my name is Matt Scorpion. I will see you in the next video.